So I'm a little sick, and I haven't really been talking about the games that I've been playing recently. But one game that I would be ashamed of myself for not talking about is Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I did a video on the closed network test that happened, and I was overall very positive on it. But this game came out a little over a month ago now, and I've put almost 50 hours into this game, which is to say I really like it. And I initially did actually record a video where I talked for like 30 minutes about it, and when I was done and I um, watched the footage back, I realized that my mic settings were messed up, and it like made my voice super deep for some reason. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. But I do have a lot of things I want to talk about with this game, and um, there are definitely criticisms. But just from I want to say that I'm actually very glad that I waited. Now this footage is from like I think the day after the game came out, so if it's a little rusty, that's why I've since gotten all the trophies. I've done all the time trials and stuff like that. So I promise I'm much better now. But I'm glad I waited to talk about this game because um, the more I play it, the more I like it. The more I let it sit with me, the more I like it. Because when I played the closed network test, I liked it, but there's this feeling of like stiffness, and maybe it wasn't as polished as I'd hoped it, would be. But as I've let the game marinate, and as I have gotten um, acclimated, if that's the right word, with the game, I love this game. This might eventually be my favorite kart racer. Genuinely, I didn't mean that. And I'm not going to sit here and have this debate. Maybe I'll say something near the end. But I hate that whenever this game is talked about in terms of quality, it's always talked about next to Mario Kart. And that makes sense, because Mario Kart is like the prime kart racer. I remember when Crash Team Racing came out, that was always compared to Mario Kart. Um, but I don't want to do that, because I think it does really a disrespect to the whole genre, as I think kart racers are more than just Mario Kart, but also just a disrespect to this game, because I think this game does so much, and I think it would be more useful to compare it to the last and just other games in the Sonic Racing series, because they have always been very distinct from Mario Kart, from Crash Team Racing, from Diddy Kong Racing, from all of these other racers. Now, I know that the first Sonic and All Stars, with like Banjo and stuff like that, that was pretty basic and definitely more of a Mario Kart type thing. But even going back to like Sonic R and Sonic Riders and Sonic Racing Transformed, which actually did a lot of what Mario Kart 8 did before Mario Kart 8, um, they're also different from Mario Kart. And I think it does it a disservice. And I want to do that with here as well, because I think Mario Kart and this game serve two completely different purposes. Now, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I realized that I do actually want to say some things, but I'm going to keep it in the beginning, and I'm going to try and make it short. So this game is like so ADHD. That's the best way to put it. Going back, I played like Mario Kart World the other day, and this isn't a diss on Mario Kart. It's not, okay? But it's just because I was so used to this game and how hectic it is that I was like, yo, Mario Kart's fucking boring, bro. And I think if I would have went back and played 8, I probably would have felt the same way. Just because this game, it's got so much going on, man. And that's not a diss on Mario Kart, but rather a plus to this game. Like, for me, I'm sure a lot of people will also don't like that. Like, a lot of people get overwhelmed or whatever. But I really liked it. I love just how there's always something going on. I know with Mario Kart World, one of the main criticisms was just driving straight a lot of the time. And I wasn't super heavy on that. I thought that even when you were just driving straight, with the added players and a lot of the item balancing, there's definitely still stuff happening as well as like doing tricks and stuff like that. But this game is so hectic, and I love it for that. Um, there's also a lot of talk about the price, and yeah, I think for $70. Now I paid for the $90 version. I actually used like a promo code from like Wario64 and only paid 70. So I'm going to say I paid 90, even though technically I only paid 70. But I'm reviewing this from someone who got the digital deluxe version. So let's just pretend I paid $90. I would have paid 90 either way. Um, yeah, it's a little steep. And also, I think even just for 70, a little steep. I know we're in that world where every game is 70 now. Unfortunately, I'm just still not used to that. And it makes it hard to recommend this game to someone who isn't like a Sonic fan. I got one of my friends to play it, and I have some of my other friends who are interested in it. But like trying to talk about this with people who don't give a fuck about Sonic, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that looks cool," and then they'll see the price tag and be like, immediately just be like, "Yeah, I'll wait for a sale." And luckily, this is a Sega game, which means it will go on sale probably very quickly. We're a month out, still hasn't gone on sale yet, but we got Black Friday and stuff like that. So I assume this game will be like $40 sometime within the next year, and then less after that. And at that price, if you could find it on sale, or even right now, you could probably find it on like CD Keys or something like that for 60. That's, I would say, very much so worth it. There is so much content in this game. DLC aside, I've seen a lot of people sort of make the argument that this game is only a full game if you get the $90 version. That's bullshit, man. You know, you get, I guess Werehog comes if you pre-order it. Maybe it comes if you get the Digital Deluxe, but I'm not going to count that. So you get, you're missing Miku, SpongeBob, and Minecraft Steve. SpongeBob isn't even out yet. But you still get Joker, you still get Ichiban, and you still get all of the free characters, which I think there are like 10 more or something like that, or like 12 more coming down the line. And then I think there's like Pac-Man and like Ninja Turtles that are paid. So I think that argument is very either extremely ignorant or straight up disingenuous. It's bullshit. And why this is being levied against Sonic when every other game does this, which isn't to excuse it. You know, Pokemon had pre-order for DLC that's not even out yet, and a lot of people don't seem to care. You know, it doesn't make it okay, but it's just weird that this is a criticism that seems to be only being levied against Sonic, and I don't really understand that, especially when Mario Kart World launched at 80, and I made a video about Mario Kart World. I said I liked the game, but nothing justifies that price. I don't think anything justifies a game being $80. You know, Breath of the Wild is a game that I love to death, one of my favorite games of all time. I would pay $100 for that game. It's not worth that. It should be $20 right now. The game is, you know, the game's coming up on a decade old, and it's still full price. Like, what are we doing? We need to stop with this. Unfortunately, I don't think we will. Companies like Sony have said that they want to follow suit and start keeping their games at full price even years after the fact. I think that's why Last of Us is getting re-released so much, and you know, you have all these barely remasters coming out with like fucking I forget what the games are even called, Horizon Zero Dawn and stuff like that. So unfortunately, I think game prices are something that we're just gonna have to deal with going forward. Like Ninja Gaiden looks really cool. I don't want to pay $70 for it, and I love Ninja Gaiden. I beat Ninja Gaiden 2 and Ninja Gaiden Ragebound this year. I'm not paying $70 for the new one. Sorry, I'm just gonna wait until like Black Friday or something. So that's unfortunately where we are. But if you're somebody who doesn't mind spending $70, I think this game is phenomenal. And yeah, so that was a little bit of a tangent, but it's to say that I don't know if you're not a Sonic fan, if it's worth it. If you like kart racers, or if you are a Sonic fan, this game is fucking incredible. It has so much content, and that's to go into a positive. I played so much of this game offline. There's so much to unlock. Like, I actually didn't even know this, and it's why I'm glad I waited to make this video, was I just don't really play single-player games. Like, with Mario Kart 8, it took a long time for me to actually sit down and get, like, all the gold trophies and stuff like that. And one day, I just happened to go into the time trial section, just because it's usually not something... Like, I just like to play online. Like, I like to turn my brain off and play online. And then I saw you can just, like, unlock all of these soundtracks. And it's so cool. Like, you immediately get, like, Sonic Frontiers, and you get Sonic Mania, which are, like, my faves. So I was immediately like, oh, shit, this is so cool. But even that, there's, like... you get tickets for playing both online and offline to unlock like AI character skins, which I think the requirement for them are a little too high. Like I think 1,000 tickets is way more reasonable for what you're getting. But if you're someone who likes a long grind, getting all these skins is going to take a very long time. I only have 2 right now. I have Shadow and Silver, and I want to get Sonic, which I'm almost there for getting Sonic, but it's taken. God, it takes so long. And I just have like 50 hours in the game. But, you know, there's also so many different carts and extreme gears to unlock through, like, battling your rivals. And there's a ton of other single-player stuff that I simply just haven't played yet because I'm not really a single-player guy. I just like to grind the online system. And speaking of the online system, there's a ranking system. It's actually pretty okay. It's very... Oh, God. Sorry. I'm like, still sick. I'm trying not to make all these gross noises. But the ranking system is very basic. It's just, you go from, like, I think D... or I think maybe it's E to S, I think, or A. I think it's E to S. I'm like an A minus or something because I just haven't really been playing a lot recently, and I played most of my playtime was on doing the rival. What you're seeing right now is challenging your rivals and stuff like that. But there's like so much to do, dude. Like it will take you so like I still haven't done everything. So if you really want to like get max rank and get all these AI skins and unlock all the all the like getting enough tickets to buy all of the different customizables for your car and stickers, all type of stuff. It's gonna take a long time, and that can be definitely be a negative. But I think in this instance, it's great because if we look at other Sonic racing games, and don't get mad at me, even other games like Mario Kart World, single player content is very lacking. Usually in these type of games, it's all about the multiplayer, which for someone like me isn't a big deal because I just like playing the multiplayer. But I'm really glad I took the time out of my. I'm glad I wanted to unlock everything in this game, which is something I usually would not care to do, and that's a big plus for me. I think that one of my negatives with the characters, especially the DLC characters, is they seem very low effort. Now, it is cool just to have someone like Joker or Ichiban or SpongeBob, especially Minecraft Steve. It's really cool to have these characters in the game. And when it comes to the paid DLC, like the SpongeBob map and the Minecraft map, they're really well done and really cool. But there are some things that are lacking. And the main thing people have been talking about is the characters. They just don't talk. Miku is the only one that talks, and I assume it's because they don't have to pay a voice actor because you just use a Vocaloid. And they said it was because it just makes it easier to get the characters in the game. They just want to get the characters in the game. They don't care how they do it. And when you remove the whole licensing issue when it comes to having someone like SpongeBob talking to Shadow the Hedgehog, when it comes to getting permission to have SpongeBob in your game, you have to discuss, like, okay, what can we say? Like, what can these character interactions look like? And blah, 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 blah. Like, can he do this? Can he not do that? And just removing it all together, I'm sure does make it a lot easier, not having to pay Tom Kenny to voice SpongeBob. But come on, man. Really? I think the much better option would have been to just use pre-recorded voice lines. I know Smash Bros. I think does that for like Joker. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I'm playing through Persona 5 very slowly, but I'm hearing voice lines that that I feel like I've heard a million times, and I don't think anyone would have cared if like even just Morgana sort of spoke up here and there, or Joker would have just like Joker like when you hit someone with a red boxing glove, Joker would go, "You're mine" or whatever from Persona. Like no one would have been like, wow, I can't believe they're reusing dialogue. Maybe one guy who's like the ultimate fart sniffer would say that, but way more people are going to notice, why aren't these characters talking? And even weirder than that, why do their mouths open, but then like a stock sound effect from their game plays? You know what I mean? It's very weird. And it's also weird how for characters like Supersonic, they may have voices. Maybe they don't. I think they do. They have voices, but they don't have like rival animations. It's very weird. And, okay, it's fine. You don't want to hire Tom Kenny. Okay. Steve, okay, he doesn't talk anyway. I don't know how you're going to voice him. But with characters that Sega owns, like Joker and Ichiban, really? You can't just rip some already used dialogue from Persona 5 or Like a Dragon? I don't know. It just seems lazy. And I'm sure a lot of it has to do with time constraints. I know Sega is pretty harsh on Sonic Team when it comes to the amount of time they're given to work on games and the time frames that they have to deal with. I'm sure a lot of it is that more than anything. But it's unfortunate. And who knows? Maybe they could add it later in an update. I know they did that with a Nickelodeon fighting game. But yeah, I don't know. There also is Supersonic, who you unlock by beating all the rivals, but he's locked to also the footage is going to loop here because I'm talking longer than I thought, but he is locked to single player. Now that is because he is invincible and doesn't get hit by anything, but like just make him not invincible and let me use him. Like you have to kind of grind a while, like over like 5 hours or 10 hours to unlock him, and he's only usable in single player. Also, he's like the ugliest render ever. I don't know what was going on. Maybe it was a last minute addition, but like, just let me use him. Like, oh, it's not, but in canon, he's invincible. Like, who cares? Just, this is like a side. This is a spin-off game. No one's, if you're annoying enough to whine about canon, then I don't care about your opinion. I just want cool characters that I like interacting with each other, and that's all. Like why is Hatsune Miku talking to Sonic? That doesn't make any sense in the canon. So why can't I just play a Super Sonic? It's stupid. And I think the only other criticism I have, because at the end of the day, I really like this game. Like, this game is great. And once it's cheaper, I'm going to be recommending this game to a lot of people. Because the game actually has a pretty good roadmap coming out. And that does sort of go into my final point, which is my main criticism, is there's characters are missing. And it's a little weird. A lot of people joke about how, Zavok and Zaz are in the game. And I think that's fine that they're there. But then it's weird that you don't have, like, Chaos or Infinite. Like, yes, Infinite's a shitty character. But, like, Zavok isn't. Like, let's be honest here. Like, no Chaos? Really? And there's so many other characters that are like that to where I'm like, just very weird omissions. Now, to be fair, they have pretty much most of the characters you'd want to play as. Obviously, they have Shadow and Sonic and stuff like that. But having Jet and the Babylon Rogues are cool. Having Espio and all those guys is cool because they weren't in. A lot of people forget. For some reason, Team Rose was like Amy, Vector, and Big because they didn't have the other Chaotix. And I don't think Cream was in that game. And there was like a weird like Chow character where you played as like 3 Chows controlling it. Remember, guys, Team Sonic Racing was so bad. It's much more productive to compare this game to that than Mario Kart. So, like, when it comes to the characters that are in the game, like Blaze and Silver and Shadow and Jet and all type of stuff, I'm happy. But it's just weird that we don't have certain characters. But that is to say, we have, I don't remember the exact number. I think it's like 10 or 15, somewhere in between there. Free characters being added. And I assume most of those are going to be Sega and Sonic characters. If I had to guess, I think we're going to get Beat from Jet Set Radio. I hope we get, like, Crazy Taxi. I think Knights has already been leaked. So characters like that, I'm sure we're going to see. I'm sure maybe we're going to see some other characters from series that are being revived, like Golden Axe or something like that. That's very possible. But I want more Sonic characters, because this is a Sonic racing game. And like I was going on about when it comes to canon, you don't have to worry about characters who otherwise wouldn't be interacting. Like, I just want to see, like, Chaos talking to Shadow. Even though that would never happen, nor would it make sense, I want to see it, because it would just be cool to see those characters next to each other. So it's just weird that they aren't there. And I keep bringing up Chaos, but there are so many other characters that I can't think of right now. But even at the fucking, like, what's her name? Oh my god, I don't know these people's names. I'm a fake fan. The girl from Sonic Adventure, the Echidna girl, or I have to Google this. Is gonna piss me off. Is it Emil? Emerald. That's it. Add Emerald, bro. Like add wait, is that his name? Please tell me that's his name. Yes, it's Emerald or Emerald. Add him, bro. He was just in Sonic Shadow Generations. Fucking add Black Doom. Like, who cares? Just add these characters. Like, you can just do it so easily. It's very, like, add E102 Gamma. I don't give a fuck. Like, it would just be funny and cool. Yeah, that's my only other, like, real criticism. And it's a little upsetting that we don't see that stuff. But like I said, there's a bunch of free characters coming out, and I'm sure we'll see a ton of them. And also the characters that are here are cool. Having different variants, for example, of like Metal Sonic would be cool. And also costumes. Like, come on. This isn't a fighting game. You don't need to like have super recognizable silhouettes. Just let my characters dress up in cute little costumes. Let me put a cute clothes on Amy, or badass, like let me dress up Knuckles with all of his power-ups from Sonic Adventure 2. Like, please, it would just be cool. Like, even as DLC, I don't care. I'll take it. Like, make me pay fucking $10 for a costume pack. I don't care. I know a lot of people will be mad at that, but I'm a Sonic consumer. I will pay the money. I want to make my game look cool. There's a reason why so many of the mods are costume based. You know what I mean? Like, please, just let me do it. On that note, you could have if you don't add classic Sonic, add a skin for Sonic that makes him classic Sonic, or that makes him like Saturn Sonic R Sonic. had the fucking Tails doll. Like, these would all be so cool to see in the game. But I feel like most of this video has been ranting, because that's really all I have to talk about. And it sort of is grasping at straws, because when it comes to the base game, it feels so good. The boost gauge that you see when you're drifting is so helpful. It makes me wish something like Mario Kart fucking had that. All of the items are pretty well balanced, actually, and I think are pretty cool. There is some contention when it comes to, I wish they were more Sonic themed instead of just generic, you know, whatever. Like, I feel like the shield could very clearly be something from like Sonic and the Black Knight, or, you know, like just adding other cool references like that, I think would have been cool. And I don't really know why they didn't do that. But all that stuff aside, you know, getting rid of the past 20 minutes, I really like this game. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. I want to get the Switch 2 version when this game comes out, simply because it would be fun to load it up every once in a while and play a race. As it stands right now, I've been playing it only on PC. I did play a little bit of it on PS5. It runs great on there, but it is so well optimized on PC. I have like a mid-range PC. I have yet to experience a single issue. I think I stuttered like one time, and I only remember it because it was so rare. Where I was just like, what the fuck was that? But like, I've heard other people talk about how on their like GTX 1060, which is a card I actually used to have until embarrassingly recently, it runs great and stuff like that, which is surprising because this is an Unreal Engine game. So if anything, you can say that Sega is the first company to make an optimized Unreal Engine 5 game. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they probably were developing it for the Switch in mind, so it makes sense. Obviously, you have a 2015 NVIDIA Shield, essentially, that you're going to have to get this game running on, so I'm sure they were immediately thinking of how the fuck are we going to do that, and then probably scaled it up for other consoles. So that's probably why it runs so well. But regardless, I don't think they compromised too much on graphics. Like, I think Frontiers compromised way too much on graphics. I love that game, but like, kind of looks like shit a lot of the time, unfortunately. And the running theory is that it's because they had to develop it for the Switch and didn't have enough time to make other versions for it. But whatever. I like this game a lot. If you like kart racers, I think you should definitely pick it up. If you like Sonic, you probably have already bought it. And so far, it's been selling well. And I'm really hoping that we get even more DLC characters, and we get, you know, because I believe there's only a year worth of post-launch content. So I really hope this game, like especially over the holiday, sells even more. Like, I hope we get, like, I hope by the end of the year they're like, we sold 3 mil, and we're doing another year's worth of DLC. Like, I could totally see that happening, because it sold 1 mil in a month. We're gonna get, I'm sure, some discounts over the holiday and Black Friday and stuff like that. So I'm hopeful. But as it is, if you're just basing this game off of what it's like right now, it's definitely worth it. Like I said, if you're a Sonic fan, you probably already have it. But if you're just a normie, that's a cringe word to use, I know. But if you're just like a normal guy who maybe has a passing interest in Sonic and like Mario Kart and stuff, if you could find this game for even like $50, I think it's a good deal. And overall, I'm very, very satisfied with it. And I'm glad that Sonic Team is able to make these games in-house again, because these were always like the side games, whether it's Olympic Games. Was Olympic Games outsourced? I think it was. I know that I believe it was Sumo Digital who did the previous Sonic racing games, which worked when it came to Transformed, but Team Sonic Racing, not so much. And I think that having it be in-house by Sonic Team means that there are people who care way more about Sonic than some random third-party studio who will have their eyes on it. And I think you can see that with the references, with the character interactions, stuff like that. So I'm very happy to see Sonic Team being given more resources so that they can develop a game like this. So yeah, this game is great. Definitely pick it up if you can find it on sale. And like I said, I think it's worth it for $70, but I can see how that's a hard sell. So yeah, that's about it. I love it.